Hey guys, just a little lesson, brief crash course here on how to make a chart in Google Sheets. So if you've got some data, you wanted to make a chart out of it, it's kind of a crash course on how to do it. So I just made up some numbers here. I didn't actually take these from anywhere. These are totally made up. But I've got dates from January 1st to 13th and Coke sales. All right, beside it, I got dates, same dates, and Pepsi sales. So I want to turn this into a chart. So here's what you do. Select all the data you want and go insert chart. Easy, right? Oh my goodness, that is not even close to what I wanted. That usually happens. So, how do you fix this? How do you actually make it work? Well, first of all, I'm doing data over time, so I probably want a line graph. It still looks like garbage, but at least I got the right kind of chart. Here's what you're going to want to do go over here to series and remove them all. These are just awful. X axis. Now, X axis is what goes on the bottom. And so, what do you want on the bottom of your graph? For us, we want the date. We want that to be our x-axis. And now series means what do you want to line up with the dates? So in this case, I want Coke sales. And I also want, add a series, Pepsi sales. Now I've got a graph that looks like how I want it. So it'll look awful when you first do it. Sometimes it works first try if you've got your data lined up really nicely. Like if I only grab this line here and insert a chart, it works right away. Sometimes it's really good at interpreting what you want. When it isn't really good at interpreting what you want, change your x-axis to whatever you wanted on the bottom, and then delete every series that it's put in there for you and just pick the ones you want. Usually it'll give you an option to use a row as headers. In this case, it says use row 2, which makes sense. And that'll give me these labels up here if they weren't already there. See, they're not there. Now they are there. So turning that on gives you your labels, which is really nice. And the last step you're going to want to do is go over here to customize. Under chart axis and titles, I can give it a title, Pepsi versus Coke. I can label my horizontal axis, the date, and I can label my vertical axis, number of sales. And now I've got a bare bones, basic, beautiful chart. Now there's all kinds of other options in here you can play with, like I can change the theme. Let's make it wide, and let's make it 20 point. And let's make it bold. And let's turn it red. So you can have all kinds of fun with the settings if you want. Oh, and to open those again, double click your chart. So you can have all kinds of fun with the customizing stuff, but the bare bones, make sure you have your title, your x-axis label, your y-axis label, or I think what did they call it? Horizontal label and vertical label. And you can change your setup to make sure your data is displayed appropriately. So that's kind of your crash course in graphing stuff. If you're having trouble, play around with it for a little bit, try and make it work. But if you're really stuck, you can always give me a call and I will give you a hand with it. So thanks for watching the graphing tutorial, and hopefully this doesn't throw you for too much of a loop.